We are actually born to be great, to feel great. If you learn to control the breath, the life force itself. We are capable of becoming happy without the need of anything else. Unconditionally happy. But we are civilized to death. We got so much technology, and how poor we are in quality of our own lives. Thus the bacteria comes in, the depression comes in, because our primitive brain, able to fend off danger, is not connected. To reconnect, get the biotechnology going. I am showing this all through science, through this simple breathing technique. 30 breaths, fully in and letting go. We are able to create new neurological pathways into the deepest part of your brain that is expanding your consciousness. That is our purpose. You learn to be the alchemist of your own body and your own mind. After the suicide of my woman, I was the crazy guy in the neighborhood, alone. How powerless I felt. But now I am powerful, and I am sharing that power. That power is called love. You are born to be more than the normal standard, to be super, man.
Congratulations, Iceman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We've done it.
Good.
Now we go home.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs. Sharing our vulnerability. Overcoming our fears. Transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go?
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is...
I love Wim Hof. This guy is the original Iceman who holds all the world records for submerging himself in the cold. He's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Everest in his shorts, and he's swam under frozen ice for 66 meters. Wim is like the original daredevil, but there's so much more to him because his breathing techniques and his cold water shock therapy can actually change your immune system, and he's proven that and taught people to use his breathing system to actually be able to control their own immune systems. And Wim believes that his methods are the solution to this problem we have as humans in a modern world, the depression we face, the problems with our bodies. And I think he actually could be right. And I love spending time with him. It's the second time he's been on London Real. And he's now asked me even to climb Kilimanjaro with him, probably wearing only my shorts, to be continued on that one. But Wim is a special guy. His methodology is incredible. He's known all around the world, and I just think he's gonna get bigger and bigger because we need to embrace his ideas and see if we can change our own physiology and our own mental state. So sit back and enjoy the incredible energy of Mr. Wim Hof. This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Wim Hof, the Dutch adventurer and world record holder known as the Iceman. You have climbed Mount Everest and Mount Kilimanjaro wearing only your shorts. You've swam underneath ice for 66 meters and run a half marathon above the Arctic Circle barefoot. Your Wim Hof method combines cold therapy and breathing techniques to control the immune system response, stimulate endorphin production, and master the body and mind. Today, you travel the world teaching your methodology and spreading your ideas on the power of the cold. Wim, welcome back to London Real.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you, man.
Yeah, it's nice to see you again, Brian.
It's been 4 years.
Maybe I call you Brain.
Yeah, that's
instead of, change a couple of letters.
That's fine with me. Last time you were here, I hadn't really dove into your breathing techniques. And I remember you made such an impression on me that I walked outside and went to a playground and I sat and did the breathing exercises myself. And after about 15 breaths, I was like, uh-oh, I don't think I should continue. But I kept going and I went to like 30 breaths and I was completely blown away by what happened. And I kept doing the practice. I started going into the cold water. And here in London, we have Hampstead Heath, and there's a cold pond. And I go there every Saturday now and jump in the cold water. I do the breathing afterwards. And people come up to me and they say, are you doing the Wim Hof technique? And I say, wow. Yes.
Wow.
And so it's just been so powerful for me. So thank you for that stuff. And just with the confidence to go into the cold water. I've had some stressful moments at London Real. And a lot of times I'll get in the cold pool and it's gone.
Amazing, eh?
So it's been powerful. So thank you for that. Tell me, Wim, the last 4 years has been crazy. Every time I check your social media, you're traveling somewhere in the world, hanging out with a new celebrity. Everyone I know talks about your techniques. They use your Wim Hof method. How do you explain how this has become so popular? Why is this such an important thing to people? And when they try it, it seems to change their lives. Can you even explain how this got so popular?
Yeah, amazing. I think the last study shows a lot, Darren. What I always suspected and knew and believed is that the human psychology is able to master the physiology. So that sounds like brain over body, mind over matter. And that was always there, somewhere, but not within us. So I made it physical. I showed first 6 years ago how to do that with the so-called autonomic nervous system, not to be influenced at human will, according to the scientists. And then I showed in a comparative study that a group of people could, within a couple of days, do things thought of impossible by humans. That was amazing, because that changes the paradigm. That changes already, hey, if that is possible, what else is possible? What do we lack in? What do we actually seek in life? That is happiness. That is strength. That is health. And my journey is to show that beyond belief, beyond doubt, scientifically endorsed, that we are inborn with the capacity to handle our own happiness, which is the hormonal system, our own health, which is the immune system, and our own energy or power, which is on the cell mechanisms. And I am showing this all through science. So I made it tangible. That what was out in the open now is within our conscious choice. I make it so visible, and that's my credit, is that I make something that was always there, conscious and aware to everybody in the world. And thus, I created a sort of a platform where people are able to make a non-dogmatic choice to become happy, strong, healthy. We have shown this already scientifically, how to tap into the immune system, how to tap into the hormonal system, and how to tap into cell level. And we are doing the study right now on the DNA with top researchers. Recently, we had this new study showing how to deal with stress mechanisms. If we name one problem in the world, and especially in the West, it is stress. And we psychologically are not able to prevent our bodies from the impact of stress. We suffer from the stress. We can only go as far. Now, what would happen if we would have a psychology that is able to control the physical impact of stress upon our bodies and mind, mental stress, emotional stress, physical stress, bacterial stress, and changes inoculated That's where I am. And now, why it has become such a success in the world is because it is scientifically endorsed. So there is no speculation about it. And it is accessible and very effective within a half hour.
Right.
We are able to take over what actually is ours. And that is our happiness, our strength, and our health, and to fend off stress mechanisms. And that's what we have shown, how to tap into the stress mechanisms in the brain.
Let's talk about some of the things you did, because you first started breaking world records for spending time in the cold. And people are like, who is this guy? And you'd spend an hour in the cold, and an hour and a half in the cold, and an hour and 45 minutes in the ice. And then you went and did this immune system study with I think a university in Holland, where
University. Yes,
they injected you with like an E. coli that would normally cause a violent physical reaction, and with your breathing technique, you had no reaction, and it was scientifically proven, right?
Yes.
Then you went and taught, I think, 10 random people to do the same thing, so it wasn't just you being a genetic freak.
Yes.
So this is slowly people starting to understand, wow, there's science here, there's science. And now you've done more of these studies.
Yes. We reproduced that study, which fundamentally changed the books in the university, namely that the autonomic nervous system can be deeply influenced, and that after 16,134 same experiments, a controlled endotoxin experiment, wherein everybody was injected with the E. coli bacteria, which makes the people sick between 3 and 6 hours. Very sick, like uncontrolled shivering, fever, severe headaches, overall muscle ache, backaches, things like that. Really sick, but controlled. It's after 6 hours, it goes down and you become normal again. It's a controlled experiment. So more than 16,000 people had undergone the same experiment, the same injection of the bacteria, and nobody could fend off the reaction on the immune system caused by the injected E. coli bacteria. And that was like known in science. Yeah, that is because we have no control over the immune system, which is related to the autonomic nervous system. We have no control over that. And then suddenly 12 people show 100% score after 4 days over the immune system and activating deeply into the autonomic nervous system. That fundamentally has changed our beliefs and insights and understanding of what we as humans are capable of within our bodies. That was only the start. We reproduced that study with more people, and we got the same results.
You taught them your breathing techniques.
Yes.
They got injected.
Yes.
And they were able to not have
no symptoms of fever, no uncontrolled. They felt okay. They began to make jokes like, that must be a sort of placebo or nocebo or whatever. It must be sugar water because the E. coli bacteria is not here.
And they were doing the Wim Hof breathing method, what, every 30 minutes for 6 hours, or you?
I always say, do it as much as you feel you need.
Okay.
These breathing techniques enable you to go deeply within your physiology, and if something is wrong in your physiology, that is, for example, an injected bacteria, then you are able to tap into your own physiology and get rid of the intruder, in this case, the bacteria.
Right.
Are we built like that? Yes, we are built. That fundamentally changed our perspectives and understanding of what we as humans are capable of. Yeah, that is a result. And now I'm going on since the last time I told my dramatic story of life, and it was dramatic, etc. And I was incapable after the suicide of my woman in '95 because of being schizophrenic, manic depression. Right now I'm changing the psychiatric insight of what we as humans, with our conscious will, are capable of in fending off, say, depression, psychosis, fear, trauma, PTSD, anything. We are able to tackle the terrorist because the real terrorist is inside.
Yeah.
And we are able to tackle that. Through what? Simple techniques of breathing makes you a possible alchemist. The alchemist within. It's not out there. We don't need the gold. We need to become the golden man, the golden Jew man. We need to radiate. We need to be like the sun, the corona, to become the king, the queen, as we are, and feel it that way. In that way, we radiate that energy and we bring prosperity for everybody.
But most of us have been taught our whole lives, Wim, that we got to go to the doctor and take a pill to get over these things. And even the medical community and the pharmaceutical companies, like, they all tell us that. They would never say all you have to do is breathe, or as you would say, breathe, motherfucker, right?
Yes.
Like, for most people, that they would never believe that could, you know, cause all these solutions, immune system response, stress, you know, all of these things.
Yes.
So
it's like we now have shown how to tap in. It's like the mechanisms, and it has a button. And you can increase the volume of that. If you don't hear yourself from the inside, increase the volume. If you are not able to connect with that what is going wrong within your own body, using your own mind, then something is wrong. We need to connect on deeper levels, especially with the nowadays stress, radiation, with neurological stress coming in every day, etc. We have to learn to regulate all this. We have all the tools inside. We are born with them, but we should learn how to use them, and with that, bring peace, bring happiness.
Is part of the problem, Wim, that we're born into this world of comfort and we're seeking even more comfort? And so, I mean, part of what you teach is to stress the body. Like when I first get in the cold water, it's hard. I told you when I was doing the breathing techniques after you left last time, I thought I should quit after 15 breaths because it felt, you know, my fingers are getting tingly. It felt almost like a DMT experience. That's what it felt like to me. Is that one of our biggest problems now? Is it we're too comfortable?
Yes, I got a friend, Chris Ryan, who wrote this. He's got this T-shirt and it says, "Civilized to death." And I agree with that. It is what it is. Real comfort is going out of comfort and feel your body that you are in control, even when the severest of stress is ongoing. When you are capable of doing that, then you really bring this deep connection, deep understanding, deep feeling within. And with that, you learn to regulate even within the stress of the daily life, and in any shape, could be mental, could be physical, could be bacterial, how to handle with that. We lost that connection because we have chosen to regulate everything through air conditionings and heatings, and thus there is no stimulation anymore upon our bodies. There's no stress because we live in a destimulative behavior, and that is like a muscle not trained. And our neurology needs activation, needs stimulation, and the weather before in the prehistorics did it.
Right.
That was the cold and the heat and the pressure and the danger.
All the time.
And now the dangers are still there, only our bodies weakened. We use extensions tools to enlighten our lives, but forgot who we are inside.
Right.
And that now, that's why I'm here. If we are able to shoot people to the moon, and we got all the technology, then why not learn how to guarantee happiness, strength, and health right here on the earth? It's time.
And there's another problem, because now we can open up our phones and we can see 100 things that scare us now, right? War here, nuclear bombs here, and Democrats and Republicans. So now we have even more stressors, and yet our body's not ready to deal with it. And we don't know how to deal with stress, except we put a pill in our mouth, right? Or we smoke something, or we shop, or we watch the Netflix.
Yes, I think we lost We lost the deep connection, and that is deep. Last time I showed in this study how to enter into this area, this deep area within us, the deepest part of our brain. We lost that connection. And that's the connection with the brainstem. The brainstem, and with that even deeper, is the periaqueductal gray hemisphere. And it's where the cannabinoids and the opioids are. There is an opioid crisis going on, and a lot of people feel depressed, and they cannot enter into the opioids endogenously, nor into the euphoric hormones called the cannabinoids. They cannot. And I know how to do it.
Because we have all those receptors in our bodies.
Yes.
Because we used to know how to produce them endogenously.
Yes.
Except these days we don't, so we have to take them orally.
Yeah.
And that gets us into trouble.
There you are.
Okay.
If we bring people to the consciousness that they are actually built to be able to enter into the deepest part of the brain, and with that, actually any other part as well, and that's the power of the mind. If we are so de-stimulated all the time with these stresses, filling up with air conditioning, cars and this and that, and then these deepest parts are not connected neurologically.
Okay.
And so what I say, technology is great, but also get the biotechnology going. And that's your own brain I'm talking about. And that brain is the seat of the mind. And the seat of the mind you should learn to control, to walk, to make distance. You know? It's a little child. There's nothing wrong with a little child in your arms, but it's not able to yet walk because the neurological pathways with the midbrain, the motorical brain, and their legs is yet not established. But in due time, it will happen. Right. Likewise, I say to everybody, we are able to create new neurological pathways. It's a born with right to do that, to expand your consciousness, perception, neurology into the deepest part of your brain and become the master not only of the deepest part of the brain and connect data with any other part that is expanding your consciousness. That is our purpose. The soul wants to express. And there we are, there we come in. And we are never taught in schools how to do it. Now, I show this in brain scans that we all are born with the same capacity neurologically to enter into any part of our brain. We have, since the last time, I've shown in brain scans how to activate 100% of the brain.
100%.
100%.
Because aren't we told we're only using 10% of our brain, Wim? Or 20?
They say 14. I think they do not really know. Maybe it's 16, maybe it's 15, but nothing really more. Consciously, that we are able to activate parts of our brain only for that percentage. And I say, through these breathing techniques, done the right way, we are able to make the blood flow and the neural activity going in all the brain. That's one. Then the blood flow is able to go, it follows the neural activity, right. And thus it gets everywhere. Is when we are able to go past our perceived neurological limits, conditioning of our brain into any other part. Now, we have been taught in schools always history, mathematics, and language, and those have certain patterns. And they keep on, they ask for blood all the time. We are thinking beings all the time. But where is the being, just being? Where is the empathy? Where is the happiness, the strength, and the health? Those are parts of our brain. We should not be only thinking all the time. We should know and feel what is the soul and understand it through the seat of our mind, which is the brain. And technically, we can now show in brain scans how to enter into the deepest. And so if we are able to go into the deepest, where else can we not go? So we have to go back to the new threshold of the new dimensions of how to acquire the power of our own mind. When we live in a system wherein we learn how to serve the system, but where is the soul? Where is the full capacity of our mind? Are we less than somebody else? Is one person less than somebody else? That is the system where we live in right now, still. And I say, it's time, guys, that we become accountable for who we are and what we are. Because this beautiful place, most beautiful place in the whole of the universe, is right over here. Let's bring harmony. Let's bring love. Let's bring power to everybody.
And everyone can do it by starting to access using their breath.
Exactly.
And they can start these techniques and start going on a journey to where they can learn more just about their consciousness, right? And then once you start activating it through your breath, you can start paying attention to it all the time, right? And you become a different person.
Absolutely. First, let's bring to the understanding of the viewer, of the listener, that we are built with the capacity to neurologically grow into our brain and grow like excited children. That is the feeling of life should be, instead of depression. For God's sake, depression, what is that? It's
a big problem these days.
Yes, it is a big problem, and and we got so much technology, and how poor we are in the quality of our own lives.
And that's the problem, because we're looking for technology to fix it, not physiology.
Exactly. So I just recently, a couple of months ago, was at SpaceX.
Yeah, SpaceX, Elon Musk company,
yes,
trying to put the rocket on Mars. And put someone on Mars. Okay.
I was giving there a masterclass on bioengineering, not on space engineering. I say, if we shoot people to the moon, that's maybe great, but if we can't guarantee our happiness, strength, and health, then we should do some bioengineering and go into this space here and invade it in a positive way, consciously, and becoming the masters over our innate capacities.
Did they pay attention when you talked?
Oh yeah, they loved it. They loved it because they got a lot of stress when a mission is going on.
Yeah. And
they almost all fall sick afterwards. And I showed them how to get into the stress mechanisms, to master it, and to not become sick, and being able to perform and to have a nice life.
I love it. Wim, can you take me through one round of breathing, please? Just so people can see what we're talking about. And then if they want to go deeper, they can go see the Wim Hof method. I know you have a free app and they can really understand it, but I just think it would be powerful for people just to see maybe me do it or you do it, and then they can just see also how simple it is. They just have to take the first step. So, do you mind? Can we do it?
Yeah, of course. Right. That is great.
Do we need a timer or something? Or good?
To get it with a timer. Okay. I got him on airplane mode.
Okay, all right.
So, you got a timer?
I got a timer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
How long do we want? Let me see. Okay.
No, we start when we have no air in the lungs.
Okay.
But first we do 30 breaths.
30 breaths, okay.
With that, just follow it. We got all the science done. It does amazing stuff in the body. We are blowing off carbon dioxide, make the body alkaline, get into the lymphatic system. There's so much happening here, right here. We will go into the deepest part of the brain. We will go into the bone marrow. We will influence the DNA, and all because of a very simple technique. You better breathe. And yes, we got this t-shirt and it says freeze on one side, and then you turn it around and it says breathe, motherfucker. And it is as simple as that. How to change the alchemy, your biochemistry, both in the brain and your body. Just follow this. So you sit.
Am I timing? Not till.
No, not okay. Until we finish.
Okay.
We go for 30 breaths.
Yeah.
Fully in and letting go.
Okay.
So you take them fully in. This is fully in and letting go.
Through the mouth.
Simple, eh?
Through the mouth.
Mouth, nose, ears, asshole. It doesn't matter.
Any hole will do.
Any hole doesn't matter.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Take it easy. It is simple. Take it light and do it all.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, here
there
we
we go.
Okay.
Fully in.
Okay.
And letting go. Fully in. Letting go. I'm going to guide you more. So we got 25 more. You're probably going to feel tingling. It's good. Just go on. Carbon dioxide is being blown off. Go like Brian. Fully in, letting go. Fully in, letting go. Body is becoming alkaline. Carbon dioxide goes down. Yes. The adrenal axis is coming into play. Amazing how the body is going to reset. Oh, he's going good. Yes. You guys, you all see it is simple, yet very effective. Use your life force. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fully in. Fully in and letting go. And stop. No smuggling. Tingling is there.
Tingling's
Light
there.
head.
The
Don't
tingling's
talk.
there.
Don't tick. After the out breath, you stayed. There you are. Just relax. Be the witness. Must feel a rush in your brain, in your body. The tingling is there. Hemoglobin is going up. That is what makes the tingling. It's your nervous system at work. We are going into the autonomic nervous system, slowly but surely. Why? Because we don't breathe after the out breath. The deepest part in the brain is noticing there is no oxygen coming in. He is not breathing. That is the primitive brain. And then the primitive brain makes a signal to the adrenal axis. That is hypothalamus, pituitary gland, adrenal glands. And it resets the body. He's 115, 120 almost, without having a need to breathe. Whenever you feel the need to breathe, you take him fully in and hold. But not yet. Yes? Take him fully in and hold. Hold. Close mouth and squeeze to your head and have a nice time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Okay, relax. Whenever you do this, this is of course entering without breathing after the out breath. It's very stressful for the primitive brain, yet you felt very comfortable. Mm-hmm. What happened was that you produced more adrenaline here, sitting like this, than somebody going into its first bungee jump. It has been compared in the blood samples showing that this technique makes the body's adrenal axis go more than somebody going into its first bungee jump. That means a reset of the body. Because the principle of our primitive brain, our prehistoric brain, was to fend off danger. And danger can come in many ways nowadays, but we don't see it, we don't feel it. We are not connected. Thus it doesn't work. Thus the bacteria comes in, the depression comes in, the virus comes in, the oxidative stress comes in, and it does all its negative work. And we do not know how to fend it off because the deepest part of the brain is not connected. And this is the way to reconnect with the deepest part of the brain. Thus it will help you during the day when stress comes in. When you are of God and doing your work, then still your primitive brain is able to detect all the stresses and to fend it off.
And you took me back down to that lizard brain there. I mean, that's what you did.
Yes, sir. It's right. And if you do another round, now you had 135. If you were to do another round, you would go to 215 or 230 and then 3 minutes. It's amazing.
Without having to breathe, that's that pause.
And without air in your lungs.
Right.
And that is asking for the most of stress possible. Because we can be without food, we can be in the cold, we can be in the heat, but without breathing, only a couple of minutes. So we went very controlled, and you felt okay, like nice.
Felt nice, yeah.
Like parasympathetic nervous system activity is going on, which is at peace, deeply within, a rush, and creating the most of stress possible. It's almost contradictory.
Yes.
But this is the way how, not to trick, but how to deal with the mind. And the deepest part of the mind is also the seat of the emotion. This is what you learn to appease. So people with depression, with psychosis, with all kinds of PTSD, fear, trauma, all those things hidden and bothering the person in life, they are now able to appease all that by going into the deepest part of the brain and learning how to regulate through this simple breathing technique. Is that possible? Yes, it's there.
But if you had told someone this 10 years ago, everyone would have thought you were crazy.
Exactly. And now the professors with whom I did the last study, they say this psychology over physiology. Brain over body.
Right. Which we've always talked about mind over matter, but we've never seen the scientific proof.
Exactly. And this is what we have shown now in brain scans. You see robust activity in parts of the brain thought of inaccessible by humans. And let it be the seat of the emotion. So they say, we found the compelling evidence of the key components of the autonomous processes in the brain. Autonomous is outside of our will. Now we found the key components and the compelling evidence thereof related to mood regulation. That's emotion. And emotion is always dampened through mental stress, emotional stress, daily stress, financial stress, bacterial stress. All the stress in the end make our emotion dampen, go down, and we can't do it. Actually affects our hormonal homeostasis in the brain, causing depression, because it is dopamine, serotonin coming together. Right. And now because of the stress, one or the other goes down, and that is depression. Then we feel bad, logically, because the connection is no longer there. Now we are able to re-regulate that connection, and with that, we become happy human beings, like in control and at peace, and with the will and wanting to go ahead with life and meet your dream state of being, realize your dreams. It's all there. Mm. And the simple thing is, through drama in my life, I found this. And now, then in 95, when I lost my wife...
Can we talk about that? Because that's what brought us all this.
Yes.
A deep tragedy for you is the only reason you've changed millions of people's lives with these breathing techniques.
Yes.
So can you talk about that?
When you are there alone with 4 children, with a woman you love, the love of your life, and she gets spirally into a out of control brain because hormonally it's not good what is happening, and the psychiatrists and therapists on her injections and pills and medicines, and it only got worse. How powerless I felt when I had to see her decline and ultimately jump from a 8th story down. That is beyond words, a broken heart, broken feelings, broken self-esteemed being because I couldn't do anything. I was powerless. And now, 25 or almost 30 years later, I am showing the psychiatrists how to tap into the deepest part of the brain, making people able, like next month, I begin a trial on people who want to commit suicide. And lots of them do. And I want to turn it around and show how easy it is being done. Consequently, simple and going for it. It was not there, and now I'm showing almost like a full circle travel, adventure, mission, that the powerless state I was, now I can empower people to not have their beloveds lost.
Do you think your breathing techniques could have helped your wife?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. And what happened to you after that? You went into a depressive state. What did you do? How did you keep from suicide yourself?
I had 4 children. So you can't even think a moment about taking your own life because you don't want to live. No, I had to survive for my kids. Yes, and I had to be energetic. I had no money. I had only love to give. And discipline. I was very disciplined. Every morning at 4 o'clock, I did my breathing. When all the children sleep, I was doing my breathing.
And you had discovered this breathing because you were always a very curious guy, right? You were always looking for ideas.
Yes. So much I did already before, but to reach to that consciousness of where we, with our contemporary problems, have no solution for. We got enormous building. I've been walking through London now from one side to the other because I had an appointment over there, and now I come here and I walk through London. Amazing buildings, amazing stuff going on, amazing. And then not being able to control our mind, not being able to control our emotion, and all the depression and inflammation going on in the world. I tell you, we found it, and I'll keep on. Before I pass over, I will be able to present a platform where people are able to make a non-dogmatic choice to be happy, strong, and healthy. And this time it's de-abstracted. Happiness is the control over the hormonal system. Health is the control over the immune system, and power, strength, is control over your energy systems. And this I'm proving all in science. So there is no speculation about it. But mind, when penicillin was found, discovered, it took 20 years to get into mainstream. People like you and me now, talking like this, bring it into mainstream. That we actually are born with the capacity to become great human beings. And I say, own your own mind. And I'm showing now how tangible that is. It is only dependent on your choice. Now go back to understanding, and the understanding is you are on the threshold now, and it's your choice, non-dogmatically, to enter into the power of your own mind. Your brain is at your service, but what kind of decision are you making? Do you want to realize your dream state, your subconscious? You are born with that, but you're also born to make the subconscious, the dream, come true. And for that, you need to learn to neurologically expand. And I tell you, through these breathing techniques, you are able to change the chemistry. And with the chemistry, changes the neural activity. With the neural activity, and it all happens simultaneously, it changes the blood flow. With our modern way of thinking, 25% more blood flow goes to the profane neocortex, our thinking brain of daily life. Mm-hmm. We know this. But that means that 25% less goes in the rest of the brain. And that we learn with these techniques how to bring blood flow everywhere. And with that, the neural activity. And with that, the accessibility at human will to enter and to learn about what life really is all about.
Yeah.
And that is 100% control over our mind, over our soul.
How did you figure this stuff out, Wim? Or how did you perfect it?
First by a gut feeling, just feeling. So when I was 17, I was already into esoteric disciplines, Buddhism and Hinduism, and into yoga, into dervish dancing, into anything I could get my hands upon. But the cold, really, the first time I went into ice water is when I really felt this is it, without words.
And I think you remember, you said you saw an icy pond.
Yes.
And it just caught your eye and you said, I need to go in there, and you went in there.
Yeah, it's mere attraction. You go in and you, whatever makes you feel so good, you come back to. It's like love. You don't need to know where you're going to. You just go back.
But was anybody going into the pond?
Nobody.
Just you?
Nobody.
Nobody.
No, I was the crazy guy in the neighborhood. So, me coming back, very soon I began to learn that if you, what do you do when you go for the first time into cold water? This is what you do.
Yeah.
Deep breathing. That is a natural tendency of the body to go deeper, to learn to oppose the stress coming from the cold upon the body.
Okay.
And that's the way you, by deep breathing, change the chemistry and make the hormonal system alert with adrenaline, with cannabinoids, with endorphins, with dopamines, whatever is needed to inoculate the stress coming in.
Okay.
And then at a certain moment, because you are doing it, you learn to do that consciously. Then at a certain moment, began to disconnect it from the cold, bring it home, do breathing exercises over there. And I saw amazing, I saw lights and amazing experiences, sensations. It was just an amazing journey. This is what I did every day at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it cleansed me. All that what brings, what goes along with stress is deep, aggravated. I mean, my wife suicided. That creates not only stress, your chemistry is becoming very acidic and you have no control, you become depressed. Your hormonal system is out of balance. She is not there anymore. And when she is not there, the neurology, her neurology, which affects my being, in which we were one, is gone. So that neurology affects the hormonal system. You become absolutely without pressure. The pressure is gone. And then you fall into this depression. But I could not do that. So I had to do the breathing in the morning. And then I felt always like crispy, like, wow, I feel great, like electric, like the light. And now it shows that I've gone into the autonomic nervous system. This is what I later showed in science. But it began with a need, emotional need, a gut feeling. And I just followed it simply because it made me feel good,
right?
Simply connected.
And how is the cold now different than the breathing? So we just did breathing there, but I know with your students and your workshops, you do both, the cold and the breathing. How do you discern them? Do you start with the cold so they understand the links and then end with the breathing? And I know you always say never combine the two, or don't go in the water when you're doing breathing, because that can be dangerous.
That can be dangerous. No, it is dangerous, actually.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Just follow the free app, and then you see we got all the basic principles and the security measures therein. So that said, the cold is an amazing tool, an amazing stimulator to train what we call the cardiovascular system, which is a transportation system of our nutrients, oxygen, vitamins, the life force itself goes through the blood. It goes through this transportation system, the vascular system. 2.5 times the world is within us. in distance.
Right.
That is capillaries, arteries, and veins.
2.5 times the circumference of the world is all throughout us.
Or
Right?
through the, around the equator.
Right.
I mean, that is about 100,000 kilometers.
Right.
So that is inside. Imagine. All those capillaries, all those veins and arteries, they are composed by little muscles that logically to contract and dilate, to open and close, to make the blood flow go to all cells in the body. And with that, if it is trained and stimulated, and that is done through the cold, gradual cold exposure, not shocking exposure. Shocking is bad. You need to go gradually. Then all those little muscles begin to work. When they begin to work, they help the blood flow. And with that, the vitamins, the minerals, the oxygen, the life force, anything to the cells. So the cells are going to be provided with a lot more energy and better, they are better fed. So more energy will come out of there.
Okay.
It's already proven. Then another magical thing, what happens is that the heartbeat per minute goes down with 20 to 30 beats a minute. That means stress. So the stress normally relates directly to increased number of heartbeats a minute. And that if it is 20, 30 more, it's like cortisol comes in. Like there is danger. That's why we need to have more heartbeats to get the blood flow running, because we need to have the adrenaline, make the body stronger to fend off the danger. That is a stress situation. Now we have a stress situation because we have a bad vascular condition. Actually, it is a danger, but it is a danger which is ongoing all day. So what happens with the hormones, the cortisol comes in and doesn't leave the body. That's why we feel restless, we can't sleep.
And that's most people's day.
That is most...
Overstressed.
Exactly.
Okay, so the cold gives them an opportunity to lower that heart rate down and to start decreasing the cortisol.
Exactly.
Okay.
How simple. So what I say simply is a cold shower a day keeps the doctor away. But know that there is quite some physiology and gravity behind it. So do it well, and just do it, man.
So in the morning, to have the cold shower instead of the hot shower. I do this all the time now because of you. But most people don't want to turn it colds. How do you get people to do it in the morning? Gradually?
No, that the stress will come anyway. If you don't go to the cold will come to you. And that means it could be in the form of a flu or a cold. Why? You become sick ultimately if you have too much cortisol on an ongoing basis within your blood. Okay. So if you cut it, and then your body is able to switch into a peaceful mode, which is able to make more energy. And with that, you feel better, you got a better performance, and you prevent your body from becoming sick.
Cold shower a day and breathing techniques every day as well?
If you do the breathing techniques, it showed within scientific research, compared these breathing techniques, make the body alkaline, make the body the right chemistry. 5 hours later, they took the blood again, it still was there. And normally we are slightly acidic. That is because of all kinds of oxidative stress coming in, and it enters in the depth of our tissue. That normally is always there, but we don't notice it so much. But because it is always there, in time, it's like garbage begins to be like fermenting. And that gets into our systems, and that is actually the cause of autoimmune diseases.
Okay. Wow.
So to empty the garbage can, we have to do these breathing techniques.
Get the alkalinity up. Okay.
Yes, and that goes into the lymphatic, the deepest of tissues, and chemistry becomes all right. That's the way. It's like not bringing the garbage. You have it in your house. It's going to stink at a certain moment. So learn to cleanse yourself through a quarter of an hour of breathing techniques. With that comes also the performance. Performance is being done when the muscle tissue is alkaline, not when it is sore, acidic. That's everybody knows acidic. Now, we have a body. When the body becomes more alkaline in the right biochemistry, then the performance, the acetylcholine, the whatever neurotransmitters, they are able to go their way without fatiguing. They are able to go because the right chemistry is right there. So it's not only sentimental, you feel nicer, you feel better, you feel less stress, you feel you are better in performance, and you don't become sick. So you are the alchemist through very simple breathing techniques, through a cold shower. And then we get into the mind. In the end, our bodies are the seat of the mind. Our brain is connected with the nervous system, rooted all over in our body, but the captain is right over there. So who is the captain? Is it you? Or the outside influences and all that. Now I tell the power of intention, which has been shown lately in the study, being able just by thought, priming the body, doing the breathing, cold shower, yes, of course, the transportation system, nice, doing its work, no stress in the body, all these little muscles, nice in shape, helping the blood flow, the breathing, whatever garbage was inside, chemicals and all, it's all out. And then the mind is able, with the power of just the intention, to switch on anything you got in mind, which is related to the realization of your journey, of whatever you got to do from the depth of your being, your purpose.
So it connects you with your purpose and your soul.
Yes.
To some higher consciousness, maybe, Wim?
Oh, absolutely. You got a lower and a higher consciousness, they call. I say you have what is consciousness? It's perception. Consciousness is awareness, perception. Now, perception is neurology. The more neurological pathways are developed within your own brain, the more controlled you are to see more. That is logical. And that is the purpose of our life. Some do it by making a beautiful chair. Some do it by learning many languages. Some do it through making podcasts possible. Some do it by serving others with coffee and tea. It does not matter. Whatever it takes to expand your own consciousness, to bring it from a lower consciousness, animalistic, to this brain, the human brain consciousness, that is connection. And it's done inside the brain. And now we found, once again, it's no pill, it's no drug, it's you, yourself. By the way, we say, get high on your own supply. And get into this breathing. In the beginning of this podcast, you said, I did this breathing, and it's like DMT. Even we are able, through these pneumatic manipulated exercises, through the breath and pressurizing, and to get into the deepest part of the brain, which also is activated during the REM sleep, the deep sleep. That's the DMT. The DMT, and it's to release trauma. And it's also bloody nice. It's like a drug, and we are able to activate that. But so what I say is, we are able to become more than the normal. Superhuman means we are actually born to be great, to feel great. Not in the eyes maybe of others, but once you feel great, you radiate greatness. Yeah. You radiate like love. It's like sanity. And people are positively affected. This is going to change the world. And once again, it's no religion, but it's divine. And that's who we are. And that is only done by setting the mind. But first, make the right conditions. That is the chemistry should be right, and the transportation of the chemistry throughout the body to all the cells, to the DNA should be done. And that's where I am right now,
Right.
with the new study on the DNA.
Yeah, tell me about the DNA and the telomeres and all that, because there's other stuff going on.
Yes, I can't really reveal all, but according to the top researchers with whom we work right now, we found that these exercises, hormetic exercising, enables us to go to the deepest levels of the DNA. And how it works is actually, once again, simple. Yeah, simple, but genius is life. And life, if you follow life, the life force, which is the breath, and learn to manipulate it, you will be able to activate the protective shield around the cell. Once, imagine if we have no protective shield around the cell, and inflammation comes in, and oxidative stress comes in, because we live in a stressful world, and radiation comes in, this comes in, and there is no original protective shield around the cell. Then it messes. It's going to influence negatively into the telomeres, which is the cell division that guarantees the longevity of our lives, which is messing up with our genome expression. The genomes is about a quality of life, becoming inflamed, yes or no, to have a control, yes or no. If inflammation is able to get into our cells, it does negative work. Now we found that through these breathing techniques, we learn to activate the protective shield around the cell. What if then, if the protective shield is activated, then inflammation is not able to get in, oxidative stress is not able to come in, then the cell division suddenly becomes longer. The telomeres become longer. With that, the guarantee of cell division. Cell division is life. It's time of life. We can influence that. Big time. Big bang, big time. Boom. Another thing is, we will also have the negative influences of inflammation and oxidative stress no longer in our genome expressions. And energy will be there because we transport oxygen, minerals, vitamins, the right energy throughout the body. And then suddenly life becomes so much better, genome expressions become better, and the longevity.
All through breathing.
Just breathing and your consciousness, your perception, your neurology. So mind, because, hey, but I'm already breathing. Hey man, neurology really goes on. Look into this and get on with it. It's like the baby, once again, there's nothing wrong with the legs, but the neurology, the neurological pathways are yet not made.
Right.
But with this, I guarantee you will be able to unlock the secrets of life itself. Because it is bound, and we are born with it, to know what the secret of life is, to know what the soul is all about. And now we got the instruments to see it on DNA level, to see it in brain scans, to see it in the blood, to see it in the nervous system, in all that. So we found these techniques, and they are very simple and very effective. Just follow the road, and you begin with one step in the right direction, and soon you make big distance.
Yeah. Wim, how come they're not teaching this stuff at the NHS here in London, the biggest medical provider, I think, in the world? It's one of the largest, government companies in the world. How come they're not teaching this at Harvard Medical School? When are we going to see it being taught to, our kids?
Yes. I think the system, the establishment, is not too much going for the soul and real health, but it's about power, it's about money, it's about conditioned ways of thinking, the old paradigm. Hey, it's time for change. That's what I say. And podcasts like this will be able to get there, to be listened by a couple of very be critical. Show me wrong. This is what I say to all the scientists. Let your investigative spirit talk and walk. Here we are, bringing something to common sense, which should be divided, should be shared with everybody. Don't you think so? That is what I'm saying to you, to the public. And come on in, because millions of data we have collected, and it shows all one direction. We got a great unexplored field within us that actually enables us to guarantee happiness, strength, and health to everybody. Because that's love, and that's powerful love, and that's what we should give to our children and be happy together.
I totally agree, Wim. Tell me about sound. You've always had a strong relationship with sound. We always see you playing the guitar. We see you at your events, up on stage and singing. You just hit our gong here at London Real. You have a gong at your place in Holland.
Yes.
When you did your latest study, where you would literally change your body temperature in like an ice bath, you said you were also using sound. Tell me, what's going on?
It's like I was there to go into fMRIs and brain scans, and that day I had to just go into the brain scans. And inside the brain scan, cold water was being released through tubes into a vest, perfusion vest. So cold water comes in, and my skin temperature goes down. That's the paradigm. We can't do really something, because in a brain scan you cannot contract muscles or breathe deep. You only can actually use your mind, and maybe a noise. And this is what day 2, I didn't do anything, and my skin temperature went down. Day 3, they asked me, hey, now make a change where everybody shows the skin temperature goes down after being exposed by cold water. And now
Which seems like physics. It seems like irrefutable physics.
Yes.
When it gets colder, the temperature goes down in your skin.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
And you can only use your mind. So day 3, I went in. I did not really know what to do. I just had programmed myself, power of intention. There's nothing abstract about it. It is just powerful, and we are all born with it. Our intention is able to program our body. So, more or less, I did that. I freed myself that morning of what I need to do. Yesterday, I was there in the brain scan, and I couldn't make the skin temperature not going down by just using my mind. Now, I was just there, and passively let it come in, and my skin temperature went down. But then, the day 3, so I was thinking, okay, now they want me to make the difference and to show where nobody could show. Now I have to show that just by using the mind, the skin temperature does not go down while being exposed with ice water. So I went, okay, let me do what I have always done in nature. Namely, when I feel that I'm able to take on a challenge, then I just do it. I can feel that I'm capable of doing that, and find on the way that, wow, that's a great mirror. I saw myself, I learned to control myself. I did Mount Everest in my shorts, going under the ice, did marathons without training in the desert, beyond the polar circle, etc. All those seemingly impossible feats, I had reflected before with my intention, with the power of intention. And whenever I felt good about it, I just executed. And this is what I did that morning. But because there was no rocks, no mountains, just a brain scan. In a brain scan, when you go into a brain scan, it makes a horrible sound. And then they ask me to meditate over there. When the sound is
MRI. Yeah.
Whatever the sound, it's hard. I mean, it's not suitable for meditation. It's not beautiful music or something. So to overcome that sound, I did. And what happened? My skin temperature did not go down while being exposed to cold. And then they looked inside the brain, because they are doing the brain scan.
Right.
And then they saw me, for the first time, a person activating the deepest part of the brain, thought of inaccessible by humans, and I was doing that robustly. And with that, the opioids, with that, the cannabinoids, and with that, all the hormones necessary to create an energy that enables to inoculate the stress, the cold stress coming in. Could be heat stress, could be emotional stress. In the end, it is cell biological stress. And we have a possible control to get into the stress mechanism inside the brain, activate it, and it will find a solution. And that is done consciously. Imagine for those who are in stress, don't know how to deal with it. And the stress can be cold, biological, like bacterial, or emotional, or depression. It's all stress. And now being able to activate the stress mechanism at will, just by your thought. That is amazing. And that is the finding. That is what I want to bring to the attention of everybody.
Are you surprised by any of this stuff? Are you surprised that you keep going to these studies and proving these incredible things? Or did you always know something special was going on with your practice?
I got a deep belief, and it comes from the gut. And whatever you believe, and it comes from the gut, almost from the gut to God, is not so far away. You can trust the gut, and it makes you feel good, and it's inside. And whatever makes you feel good, you will never doubt. So you always go back to that. Even though from the outside, hey, look at that crazy Dutchman, look at him under the ice, he lost it. Yeah, he has no wife anymore, and this and that, he has no money, he's doing crazy stuff. No, I just followed my gut feeling. Other people, I get high on my own supply, sort of. You know, I feel good. And wherever I feel good, I believe it. Because that's real. If people say, this is not a chair, then I say, and look again. Well, to me, it's a chair. And it feels like a chair. So I'm going to stay and sit here.
So you always trusted your gut. You knew you felt good, so you kept doing it. And whatever happened would happen.
Yes.
And the fact that the science is proving that all of these things are happening on a molecular level, DNA level, brain level, doesn't surprise you because you knew something powerful was happening.
Yes, I think we lost the connection to trust ourselves through intuition and gut feeling within. And that now shows. The last study also showed that actually we are dealing with the interoceptive focus, which is a neurological network we never use. That is, listen to your heart. If you right now would ask you, feel, close your eyes and feel your left big toes heart beat.
I'm trying.
Get off your mind, just feel it. You will feel the heartbeat.
In my left big toe.
Yes.
I think I could probably get there.
Yeah, you see what I mean? We are built in, that's interoceptive focus, to be in any part if we need so.
Right.
In any part of our body. When we ache, we are able to travel over there and make the difference. That is the power of our thinking. Now, that's neurological network number 8. We never were taught that we are capable of doing that. But I tell you, it's there. That is part of the power of the mind. Another part of the power of the mind is the proprioception, is neurological network number 7. That is the control over the immune system and all the layers, just by thought. It's amazing. So you don't need to become sick. Think of those entrepreneurs who are independent And they cannot become sick because they have to finish the work. And when the work is finished, they become sick.
Right.
That's the power of the seventh network. We don't get that in our schools. We should learn that in our schools. How not to become sick, how to have a control over the immune system in the depth. It's all neurological by conscious will. Consciousness is neurology. Neurology is like electricity. It rules over the nervous system, which is electricity. Then you got number 6, the sixth sense. The sixth sense is about, somewhere I see dead people. Oh, I see alive people. The thing is, we have like a radio inside who sends and receives. And we are able, when we are neurologically, to travel into any part of our brain and decode of what is happening to our conscious understanding. That is the sixth sense.
Okay.
And with that, you are able to understand that what is coming out of the universe into the hemisphere, like any other radio. Without the hemisphere, a radio is nothing. A radio is a receiver. So we have a receiver as well. As the radio is the fruit of our mind, it's because we have an innate capacity to do likewise. That is the sixth sense.
That's the sixth.
And with that, we receive exactly what we need to receive to learn to control more within our own brain and to expand the neurology and find out about the soul, about anything. It's all there. The iCloud is really there for everybody.
iCloud. Tell me about you, Wim. Are you going to be doing any more world records or feats? And I know somebody beat your world record for the cold recently. Are you going to try to beat him, or are you happy to see people beat the records?
Really, I don't need to beat him. I always was, when I was doing these things, I always did 1 minute more. Because then I got invited on the other side of the world, being treated like a VIP, get paid well, and do 1 minute more. I could do 1 hour more, 2 hours more, because it was always controlled. I do now ice water, ice baths on a regular basis, sometimes an hour or 70 minutes in ice water, and I feel great. Last time somebody was telling me, last January, in a Q&A, in a retreat I do in Poland, Wim, I see you sometimes, you drink beer. You intoxicate yourself. That is like no control. This is not a good example. I said, I got my control, man. So, and I like this yellow water sometimes. I'm not drinking now for months, but then I was drinking and I liked it. And they say, but you know what? I can do a world record right now. So like in a half hour, say. And oh yes, well, what are you going to do? I say, well, I'm going to stand barefoot in a horse stance for 3 hours outside and set a new world record right over there. But first I want a beer of you. Get it? Yes. You went for a beer, brought me the beer. A half hour later, I was outside in the snow, standing for 3 hours in a horse stance. It's all filmed and it's all there. And it's like this, huh?
Yeah, it's
like
hard.
This, and then barefoot in the snow in shorts.
How do you do that?
Yeah, that is control of the mind.
Right.
That is the power of your intention. So if you don't have the control over your mind, then do something irrationally, because you're irrationally terrorized in your own brain. You don't, things are abstract, not clear of your path and your understanding and realization. It doesn't work. Your mind is your tool. It's your servant. When it is mind controlled, it's your best friend. Mind out of control is your worst enemy.
Okay, so put yourself in difficult situations and irrational places and force the mind to be calm.
Yes, to get calmness through, get control through this irrational step. Don't be afraid to challenge your conscious power, because you are built to be happy, to be strong, to be healthy, to be in control over your own mind. And your mind doesn't mind about you doing something seemingly impossible.
You're right.
Just follow your gut feeling and God will be with you.
You're right. I showed you the picture of my Ironman race last year, and by putting my body in all these crazy situations, my mind just figured it out. And it got calm, and it actually got more, I felt like I was elevated to higher levels, Wim.
Wow.
More understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we bring this understanding to the people, then people become, instead of full of fear, they become fearless, and they begin their journey into the mind, into their own accountability of the power of their own mind is starting. And that is a great moment. Because then the journey of realizing your own dream, your deeper state of your being is coming to the surface, and you can work out what life is all about.
Tell me about your last 4 years. What's the coolest thing that happened to you? The strangest experience you've been in? I mean, you've been all over the world. You've hung out with super cool people. What's been the thing where you've been like, wow, I never thought a crazy Dutchman would be doing this?
Yeah, the coolest thing, of course, is not the cold. It's not meeting with celebrities. It is not even the science and new scientific discoveries and changing the paradigm and fundamentally change science in the books in the university as a dropout from school. No, it was having a new baby.
And tell me about that. How old were you when you had your new baby?
That was now 58.
58.
58.
Brand new baby at 58.
Yes, yes. He is 2 years old and he is ridiculously cute. He is the purpose of the life. He is like the light. We are all born with innocence. Let's go back to innocence because life is so beautiful and enjoy it together. Then there is no war, there is happiness, there is strength. There is purpose of life right in front of our eyes, and we will take care of them.
And your son shows you that innocence.
Oh, every time.
And he's better than anything out there.
Oh, yeah. It blows my mind every day. Yes.
What do you see in him? Like, what's it like to watch him grow up? What do you see? Innocence, of course, which we all have inside of us and we forgot about, right? What else do you see? Does he like the cold?
He goes every morning with me, barefoot, even when the lawn is frozen over, barefoot outside. He doesn't hesitate. He follows me. And that's kind of amazing. And the thing is, the thought, the not thinking state of being, just purely being, that is what he is showing me. And that actually is a non-thinking state of mind.
Right.
Is wherein I just feel. I'm just there. And that is amazing. I love it. I love it.
Do we think too much?
Yeah, absolutely.
We just think too much.
Yeah.
We just need to feel.
Yes.
And that's what you're trying to get us to do with the cold and with the breathing, and just stop thinking about it.
Yes, yes. And with that, my mission is still, then I get back on my horse and into the mission, is to bring to the threshold of every person the ability to neurologically control the mind, to be able to activate their happiness, strength, and health on a controlled basis. And if they are able to do that, then we are able to teach that to our children. That's love. I want love to be analyzed completely through and with the mechanisms of all the science, and then shown that everybody is able to do it. That is my mission.
That's your mission. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What happens at your retreats? We see you walking up mountains in Poland with no shirts on, and it looks like a group community. And you said it's an experience, and they said there's oxytocin being released because it's like a bonding community, and people are hugging each other and touching each other. What are you trying to create in your events? Not trying. I know it every time happens. We every time have a success, and it shows that humans are made to be human. That humans coming from a state of fear and expectation,
then very soon they remember and recognize who they are and what they are without hesitation, without tension, without inhibitions. And then suddenly at day 4, we all go climb the mountain, but we do it together. You find that everybody is helping each other. That everybody is there for each other because the energy no longer is within, trapped in a mind. It's open, it's flowing. And then they suddenly are all able to endure extremes for hours in short. I mean, young people and old people up till 80 years. My oldest participant is 97 years old. And they love it. Her remark was last time, I love it and it's great. And I showed my sister as well, 95 years old. And I mean, where does it stop? It does not stop. Our ability to perform like a mammal, to be strong and just to feel the purpose of life because it's there, not by thinking, just because you feel it. That should be done until the time you die or you pass over. Also controlled, because the fear of death also will subside if you learn to control the breath, the life force itself. So the mind can learn to be controlled. The systems all can learn to fend off oxidative stress, inflammation. We can learn how to enter into the genetical encrypted codes related to our ancestors. The natives before, they knew how to wish. They knew of this presence, how to bless your ancestors, the 7 generations before and the 7 generations. That was not blah, blah. That was real. They could feel it by gut feeling. We think, we took over the natives, we took their land, we colonized them, etc. And we don't know how to guarantee happiness, strength, and health. And we are in a bloody relationship with nature. We sodomize it, pollute it, exploit it, became insensitive. And now I tell you, we have to go back. We have to go back to our nativeness, intelligently and consciously, and learn that we are here to control our DNA, our genetical ancestors, and free the encrypted codes within. That's where we are. And that will bring, in the end, enlightenment. Because enlightenment has nothing to do with you as an ego.
Is that what it's about? Is this about getting the ego out? You used to say, you told me once, no ego, we go.
Exactly, that's what we do. Within a week, you see people, or within 5 days, coming to great power, coming to great control within, enduring freezing temperatures in shorts for hours. And what is that? That is a free roaming flow of neurology inside the body within the power of intent control. And that power intent, that is all only the beginning, wherein you learn to explore that whatever is within your depth, and that could be the depth of the DNA, of the bone marrow, of the depth of the brain, and all those are there with a message, and they will be sent, and it will be very clear. It's called the subconscious, and it will come to the surface, and you work it out, and you feel like free. You feel like a relief for the soul. And that sounds like hippie bullshit, but I'm doing the studies right now. We are bringing the West and the East together. We bring all the people together, beyond religion, because we are born to be free. We are born to be divine. We are born to live for the love, for everything.
Is that our biggest problem, the ego? Is that what's hurting us mostly today?
This overindulging into the ego doesn't bring comfort. It's boring. So let's quit with the ego. We go, and we are going to be great human beings, all of us. It's amazing. I could have gone with so many supernatural powers and this and that, but it was not interesting. Interesting to me is to heal people. And now reaching out like you do yourself with this window out to the world and bring consciousness, perception, awareness that we actually are built for so much more, and that it is accessible and very effective through techniques like this, scientifically endorsed, that will heal a lot of people. Because we are not born half, we are born wholly. Let's get back to innocence.
Yeah.
The beauty of it all.
You said you could have gone with supernatural powers. You mean you could have become the superhero? Is that what you mean? And you decided you were going to not do that?
Absolutely. When I saw that, you know, I could have gone and do a world record every day. So how far can you go? You can go very far. You can go very far alone and very fast. But the real distance you're going to make when you go together. The family is the cornerstone of consciousness itself. I want to go with all of us. I want to love them all and arrive at every moment.
What do you do in the next 5 years? What are the big milestones that you want to do with Wim Hof, the method? You know, what are your plans?
Eradicate the real terrorist. And that is the psychosis, the depression, bring inflammation to within our control to be eradicated. I mean, that's what I want. And to bring that to everybody's non-dogmatic choice. That's it. I love everybody, but I give the choice to everybody through scientific research and proof. And then what I wanted, I was thinking, what can I do against the suffering for so many kids? I have to earn so much money, billions, and then I can help them at projects. No. At a certain moment, I changed that thought, and I thought, no, I have to change the books. I have to show scientifically that we are capable of becoming happy without the need of anything else. Unconditionally happy. And that was the start was made when my wife jumped from 8 stories down and I was powerless. But now I am powerful and I am sharing that power. That power is called love.
I just saw this series on Netflix with Bill Gates where he's trying to save the world from polio and, you know, E. coli and cholera and all this stuff. And I just thought he should talk to you. Because like you said, as opposed to making billions of dollars and trying to pay for this stuff, you're trying to teach people to heal themselves.
Exactly. We got an innate capacity through plasticity and neuroplasticity for mental disorders and physical disorders.
And yet, as humans, we always look for something else. We never look inside, right?
Exactly.
We look for the new piece of technology, the new drug, or we look to point someone's finger, it's your fault. But we rarely look inside.
This is the story when the wise people came together and they said, what do we have to do with the soul? Because the people make a mess out of it always. Put it on the highest mountains. No, they crawl up like ants and they find the thing and put it in a museum and a trophy they make out of it. Then put it in the deepest of seas. Now they make crafts, these people. These beings, they always go on and find it up and yes, put it in a museum, a Nautilus museum or something. They don't do anything with it. Then behind the furthest of planets, they make crafts. Then they make a spacecraft and they find it and bring it back, make NASA, almost Nazi warfare out of it, NASA warfare. It doesn't matter. War is no good. So they use it for that. And there was silence because nobody knew where to put the soul.
The soul.
And then one stood up and said, I know where to put it. Put it in man himself. It's where he is never looking. And that's exactly where we have gotten right now. The soul is within us. It's time. It's knocking at our heaven's door. Our power of our mind is knocking at our door. And we give a non-dogmatic choice therein. It surpasses religion, surpasses any background or cultural ethnicity, or whatever there is in difference. There is no difference in the heart. There is no difference in the soul. And the soul is the best. I go for the best. And now we give this to the people.
Are you worried about this world when you watch what's going on out there and the news and people fighting and climate change and all this stuff? Do you worry about it? Do you think we're going to make it, Wim?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is no time to despair. There's no time for despair. A man on a mission always sees one thing, and he goes like an arrow, straight forward, and reaches its goal.
And that's you.
Yes, that is me bringing this to the world. Oh yes.
Yeah.
And this is the way I see it. I will not be influenced by doubt, yet I see everything. And it makes my heart ache when I see children being abused, animals going extinct, nature being burnt down, and whatever is all going on. And then people stay in these profanities of politics and power and keeping it to themselves. I see all that. But I go and make the change. If I can do it as a dropout of school and teach professors and doctors all over the world, tell me, what can you do?
You have a deep connection with nature.
Yes, I think we all have. I re-established. I showed myself. I awakened myself in nature to my true nature, which is far deeper than our thinking is able to understand.
Yeah. What scares you, Wim?
Whoa. What scares me? No, it's nothing much that can scare me. I got a little child. I would give my life when something happens. Right over there, there is no fear over there. It's care, it's love. The absence of love, that would scare me. And another thing is, I don't have fear of dying. I fear not to live. So let's go on and live 100%.
A lot of us aren't living, right?
Yes.
We think we're living.
Yes. It's like living with the brake on, driving with the brake on. Get it off and get on with your lives and make your dreams come true. Because now the subconscious, the mind, the bone marrow, the DNA, it's all there at your service. Know that it is there. That is consciousness. It's like when you don't know how to go to your home, you always go around. It's fatiguing so much to go because you don't know the shortcut. And it takes your energy, and you've learned to deal with it. You're pacified, your mind is, I can't do anything more. I tell you, we have found a shortcut. And the shortcut is towards your soul, the best of yourself. It's not fatiguing, it's giving you energy. It's giving you purpose. It's giving you the love for life and for everybody around you. That's what we have found. And we give it to you. It's your choice. That's where we are.
And it's so simple.
And it's so simple.
It's just right in front of you.
Yes.
It's something you do every minute anyways.
Yes.
You just need to do it with attention and with intention.
Yes, exactly.
Wim, I always ask a few questions at the end. I'm going to ask you, if you could pick up a phone and call up the 20-year-old Wim Hof, that young man, you'd already discovered the cold, but now you know so much now. Based on everything you know now, what would you tell that young man?
Yeah, you just keep on, you little motherfucker.
The following success secrets are only available inside the London Real Tribe, where you get exclusive access and insights from our high-performance guests on wealth creation, productivity, leadership, morning routines, health, and well-being. To join our tribe community, go to londonreal.tv/tribe. Now, let's continue with the show.
You know, sometimes very wise words come from your neighbor, the woman next door. Or I went to India, for example, and I thought I was going to meet gurus and this and that. And, you know, a long time ago, 43 years ago. I had barely money, a little money. I wanted to go, really wanted to go to India and to find out. And the person mostly impressed me was a little man sitting in a cross section in the middle, and already he was there for days. I passed by and then I sat with him at a certain moment. He was making herbs and rolling it, and it took him about 15 minutes to make one. But the humbleness coming therefrom, he asked me a fraction of a rupee. It was no money, but the grace and the humbleness of that man who was sitting cross-legged for the whole day long there, that was most impressive. And so what I want to say that the people who have been teaching me, they were very humble, simple beings, like my own mother, like my wife, like having a child. Those simple moments of life, they are the most impressive ones. Really boasting with your ego, oh, look what I am and this and that, and it doesn't really get to me. In nature, when you go into the cold, you learn to shut up and just get this inner connection going, and then afterwards you feel great. That is being humbled by the power around you. And the power around you comes in many ways. It makes you simple, it makes you humble. And that's where I go.
And there's great advice around us all times. We just have to look for it.
Exactly.
In everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Last part of that question, Wim, is to that 20-year-old that's watching us or listening to us from around the world. What's your advice to them? You know, they were born into this world of hyperconnectivity, stress hormones. They've never known anything else. What do? What should they do?
Know that there is more. The Germans and the Dutch, they have sort of controversy. They beat us in the 1974 with the World Cup football. And so, and then I think they won the cup 4 times, something like that. Thing is, I was standing in the ice in Cologne for like a world record, Guinness World Record, within a studio. And then this doctor came to me, and he said he was with me and made this joke. He told this joke to me. He said, Wim, how does the Dutch win the World Cup? What are the Dutch doing when they win the World Cup? And I said, I don't know. They click the button of the computer because then the game is over. Because in real, we never did it. It's only on the computer that we can become a world champion. Right. That was his joke.
His joke, right, okay.
And I say, the best is not to have the world, to become the world champion in football. The best in you is there awaiting young people to become really happy, really strong, and really healthy, and know the purpose of neurological control within your mind to get to the 100%. Not through this, to your own breath, to your own conviction, and take a cold shower. You can all look it up, it's all there. You learn to be the alchemist of your own body and your own mind. Do you understand how to become, not by computer little games, a Superman? You are born to be more than the normal standard, to be Superman.
And to those people that are watching us right now, I implore you all to try these techniques, to get into the cold, to do the breathing, to get the free app, to go to the Wim Hof method online and try this stuff. I'm telling you, it is a game changer. And imagine if 1% of the world did this on a regular basis, or 5% of the world. It would feel like a different place, right?
Absolutely.
And Wim, I really appreciate you because you are much more than a guy who teaches people how to breathe and teaches people how to get into the cold. You are the true essence of a guy who wants beautiful things in this world. I can feel it from you. I can tell by your answers. I've talked to a lot of people over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And like, you're the real deal. Everybody feels your energy.
Amazing.
And thank God we have a guy like you talking about these techniques, because I think people feel you first. You know that. They feel Wim Hof or whatever this energy is first, and they're drawn to it. And then they're like, oh, okay, I can get some of this if I do these things, and you're pulling everyone along into the future, man. And I really appreciate you for that, man. I really appreciate that.
Wow,
energy.
coming from you, thank you very much. Full of gratitude, therefore. And we got a mission, and we ain't got no doubt therein. We will go on and make everybody happy. If it is to us, we make everybody happy.
That's the plan. That's our plan here at London Real. That's your plan, Mr. Wim Hof.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to go back into these techniques even harder tomorrow, because this is such powerful stuff. So
amazing.
Keep doing what you're doing, and come back and see us as often as you can. Let's keep putting this message out there. Let's change this planet.
Yes, the next time we got a lot more scientific evidence-based research. It's we completed a lot of new research. It's into publishing. Always takes time. Science sometimes is as fast as a slow turtle. But through these podcasts, we can already say what is going in the future to happen is that we learn to be the master over our mind, over our happiness, strength, and health. And that is a guarantee. And we are able to show that scientifically with all kinds of measurement, very fine, deep, fine medical instruments. We can show that we are the master over our hormonal system, immune system, our cell mechanisms, anything. So that is the future.
I love it. All right, everybody needs to pull the trigger and do this right now. Wim, I love you, man. I need a hug, and let's get out of here. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, man.